אוקיי. היי, עבר... אני כל הזמן מתחיל ככה, למען השם איתי. למה אני כל הזמן מתחיל ככה? אולי גם זה נהיה כבר רפטטיב, אבל... היי, מה עושים פה? למה יכלתי לעשות עוד פרק של investigation? כי אני כמעט סיימתי את הקייס. זה הכל. טכנית הייתי יכול לעשות, לסיים את דואל דסטיניז. או לתת את הפרק בונוס של דואל דסטיניז. כן, שמעתי שיותר עדיף לעשות את זה מאשר מקייס 4. למה? אני מקווה שלא יהיה יותר מדי לאגים. ואני מקווה שאני אשכרה יכול לעשות את הפרק. אני לא יודע כמה נחטף, אז אני אחזור על האינטרו שלי עוד פעם. הסיבה היחידה שבו אני החלטתי לעשות את investigation זאת פעם זה בגלל שאני נמצא בסיום של הקייס. אצלך אבל כן להסתכל בטלפון למטה לראות בעצם. נראה שהכל בסדר עכשיו. קודם היה בעיות אבל עכשיו נראה הכל טוב. אני לא אפילו למה היה קורה. זה לפעמים קורה לי מתי שאני עושה לייבים. גיליתי את זה לאחרונה. זה לא יכול להיות קשור למה יש פה. אבל היי. בואו ניגש! לטרבה רמיניסנס. later confidation former קליסטו U. כי קליסטו היא היחידה שיכולה להיות פה לפי process of elimination. כי זה קצת מטורף איך שאנחנו הגענו לדברים אני אראה את האמת. דבר ראשון, הסכין. זה בעצם היה איזשהו מפתח שהגיע לגרוסו. היה גנשוט בסורוויילנס וידאו. שאחר כך נוצר בעצם בשביל לייצר אלוביי. טכנית ל3 אנשים. טרל, גמשו וקליסטו. גם, אז כאילו לפי ההיגיון, זה אומר ש... ברן פרדיי, כאילו ברן ומאק, היו צריכים למות לפני שגמשו מגיע, כי ממתי שגמשו שם אף אחד לא נכנס. משאיר רק את טיירל וקליסטו, אבל לטיירל אין מוטיב. בשום דרך, אין שום סיכוי שזה יהיו לפי מוטיב. משאיר את קליסטו שאולי יש איזשהו סוג של מוטיב. שעכשיו שאני חושב על זה, האמת. בתור מוטיב לקליסטו, כן יש אחד שאני יכול לחשוב עליו, שזה KG8 עם ברן פרדיי. ברגע למה הקרל אני לא פחות יודע. אבל זהו, זה כל הבנטר שאני צריך. 10 בספטמבר, 6:15 בצהריים, או ערב עכשיו, דיסטריקט קורט, קורטרום מספר 3. Oh, capo. Interesting. Okay, got it. Kay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. The object you're looking for is already... Okay. Don't mind him. Please, continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why, even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out.
Oh? Is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements. During the time when our suspect was in the hallway.
שרגע אנחנו אומרים שזה לא relevant. מה שמיוחד כאן זה שעכשיו אנחנו אומרים שזה לא relevant.
I also confirmed that there is no possible route to escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah! That's all there is to my conclusion in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ.
כי נעשה לפני.
In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'll be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? Absolutely, like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'm not long and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won.
You are the culprit.
All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is.
Let's go!
Everyone, since the suspect has an alibi for whether the gun went off.
Sense. But lama is sense. Sun's on the tail.
Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? So confirm that there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion. That Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. Well, of course. There's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve.
Express! לא? press. Everyone has an alibi when the gun went. כולל גמשו! The suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look! I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. See, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well. Which means I should focus on drawing out whatever trump cards she's withholding. מה יש לי כאבידנס באופן חדש? מה יש לי? Perfume Organizer, המפתח וה-Surveillance video. Oh. Those are obvious. All the crime scene has been examined, blah blah blah. אבל אף אחד לא מצא את ה-Surveillance video.
Objection!
לא. אוקיי. אולי אני אמשיך עם פרסים, בנראה מאוד יש.
Hold it!
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead and are back. Anyway, even if you believe you haven't been it hasn't been exhaustive? 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 I'm gonna have him exhaustive. Even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. זה למה הרצח היה לפני! And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? That's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence that suggests someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Also confirm that there's no possible escape route, which leads us to an unshakable conclusion with Gumshoe's.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that! Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they'll write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Oh! Not about to let her get a rise up out of me for such a flippant statement. Besides which, my first order of business is to push for more information out of her. There's no need to confront her logic head on right now. I should instead drawing out every trump card. Okay, that doesn't make sense. I could think about this. נתן רק את זה, מראה את escape route.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive there are no other possible escape routes? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse. The place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal will be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject. Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I am the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically, the only reason Francisca barred to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Monsieur, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, בחדר שזה בלתי אפשרי לשמוע את gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the other person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? Then what? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate. Oh, wow! What? Meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Can't you explain how it came in from? Oh gosh, I'm gonna
Take that!
that tape. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell, the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can
honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video? Ah, but I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out of Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe.
Objection!
Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Montcalm already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew! Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right. And if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. גם את הגנשוט שאתם אומרים בעצם ששמעתם את זה לא יכול להישמע. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day בגלל שגם היו חלונות פתוחים. And that's it. End of story. But it's not. לא יודע למה, אבל זה די חלש. How should I explain why she was able to hear the gunshot from the soundproof? The window was open. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was opened in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened.
Objection!
It's probably just coincidence that we're both open at the same time.
Objection!
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open, Callisto. And that person would trigger an action. That person is the real guilty party. Finally! Okay! The real killer in this double murder is Callisto! Miss Callisto, you. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao. What? You indict me? Oh boy! Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious. Because she's the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss you, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. Argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance. Quite a bit. A never-ending dance with a shifting mountain on quiet. Sorry. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Oh no. You argued that the window was open. However, do you have proof it was I who did it? Oh my god. Not again! Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours.
Oh my god, not again! איך כל הזמן זה מרגיש לי שאני קונסיסטנט, בכל פעם שבאה המוזיקה הזאתי, זה אומר בעצם שהפרסט סטייטמנט הוא בעצם הלא נכון, וזה עדיין קונסיסטנט. What the fuck?
This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now it is time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test.
אני הולך לעשות את זה כאן ועכשיו. There's no way שזה עשה את זה שוב. There's no way! אשכרה, there's no fucking way.
Objection!
Oh my god! Oh my god, this streak continues!
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Hugh? Dwarf! I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume.
כן, הבושם של אנג'ל.
It's not exactly what I would recommend for boys, you know. This isn't mine. That's right. It's mine. And I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Hugh, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open the window.
Objection!
Come now! I told you that it's just a big coincidence. After we opened our window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection!
תודה לכם גם שוב.
Timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. When people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time.
You mean?
Miss Hugh, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1. When you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought out by you, Miss Hugh. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume? Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday.
יש לך motive.
Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. I grew weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this last testimony and wrap up this absurd little case once and for all. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled ball of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von.
Oh my god, not again!
In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't know where the knife was that was used to kill him came from.
Okay.
Miles, her testimony. is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her.
זה לא מרגיש לי שזה פרסט סטייטמנט. הפעם, הסטריק נהרס לטרליך 10 דקות לאחר מכן. are you serious? הסטריק ליטרלי נהרס 10 דקות לאחר מכן. עם המוזיקה.
Objection!
לא. הנייף הוא המפתח. כזה שזה רק presses first.
Hold it!
I think I already explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume. That's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do as you like. But as for me, I believe. You believe? I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. My, you're enthusiastic. Of course I should have guessed.
Forgery. It could not have been me or Faraday. I don't know where the knife came from.
Hold it!
That's right. She will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, monsieur. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles? What do you think you're doing? I'm trying to truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? I don't recall a knife being presented at trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut out of your lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to prove was to present was the key that the Grosso had sent. Perfect! And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Perfect! Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony. Sure, why not? I haven't said as many times as you'd like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. מה עם הסכין? זה היה... היה המפתח.
Objection!
Monsieur, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Algorazo sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has a secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Algorazo's key and the murderous knife. You knew that key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Algorazo's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now?
Objection!
Just knowing about the existence of the Kinera normal? Gamma makeup, Jesus Christ! Okay, just knowing of the existence of the Algorazo's key. I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance? I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Ah! Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor.
אחד שרצח את אבא שלך ליטרלי 10 שנה לפני.
Never mind. Now, take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. How? Who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Algorazo's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you who isn't a member of law enforcement and who have never been privy to this trick would have never known about it to begin with.
היא לא הייתה צריכה בכלל לדעת על המפתח.
Furthermore, there's something that the Algorazo sent to the police. How did you have the knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard from Mr. Faraday. Just before I dragged Mr. Bell off, he told me. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. You also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. They didn't tell me how the key actually transforms.
Objection!
Bullshit. What you are saying is simply not possible. Oh? And why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages mentions nothing about a knife.
Objection!
I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to the oral communication?
Objection!
Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bat didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force? And it's something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that is not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Monsieur, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you know? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will. And I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it. The moment of truth. The secret behind the Eldegrasso's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would have known from the start that the Eldegrasso's key would change into a knife? Eldegrasso, that's more.
Take that!
This is the only one person who could have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Eldegrasso's key to the police. Eldegrasso. That is to say, the Eldegrasso herself. I'm saying that this lawyer is the great thief, Eldegrasso? Monsieur, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who professed to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this?
Because she has the motive of Faraday. Yes, a motive of Faraday.
Oh my god, what's wrong? Oh my god, look at it! Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're saying thing that because chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace.
You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callisto, you!
Callisto, you. That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief, Eldegrasso. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth.
Oh my god, Ashkan Nigashim the meat and bones! This is fun!
Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. Well, you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Ryle an offer, and a quill for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Eldegrasso in court. But once we entered the recess, Ryle was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. Now Ryle caves to two things, the only two things: money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held onto Rel any longer. Plus, if I had them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despised criminals? Do I really?
You... Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too?
Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Eldegorasu by using this Eldegorasu ski as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well designed as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday.
בוא נתעלם מזה שתאורטית עדיין היה אפשר לקחת את המפתח ואז פשוט לדקור אותו עם המפתח. לא חייב את הסכין בכלל. 100% יהיה קצת יותר קשה. אבל אם אתה desperate, אתה פשוט יכול לעשות דברים בלי קשר. אז כן אפשר להרוג אנשים עם המפתח, פשוט הסכין זה הרבה יותר פשוט. בסקשן של המפתח הזה.
And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. And then let me hold the Eldegorazu's key, just like that. He had never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life.
How could you kill him?
I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other?
Wow!
The trick of the surveillance tape. Yes, I had actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'll be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him with all of his hard work with a bullet.
You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client?
Client? As if you want to talk who was a client of whose first. It was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, that man.
You ordered a hit job?
You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had that man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring.
What?
Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination?
היא חלק מהסמגלינג רינג?
It can't be. You're...
That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
How could this? You don't mean you're working romantic coaching too, do you?
Maybe not. Guess you'll never know. Yet the Garasu claims to be noble, but you're just a cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The other Garasu is just another killer.
Be quiet! You? Yadagarasu?
You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court.
Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that girl also has 3 legs? Do you know what that is?
מה זה בכלל יד הגרוס? מה זאת אומרת 3 רגליים? What? אין את הסכין פה. אוקיי, אני קצת דואג.
No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the girl has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work.
מה זה? וואו! גם פה! וואו!
You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the girl's ski right to me without a second thought. Everything may or may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
You mean the key was your real target?
Even after I give such a great advice. And I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal. Or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
You two, get down!
אוי.
My body. I can't move.
פאר הוא משותק?
Hey, mister! To your right!
You!
My God, can't see that though!
Are you alright, Franziska?
I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go?
ליטרלי בא רק לרגע להגיד to the right, ואז אחר כך היא הלכה אחרי טיילר. מה התחנית שלך? לא!
That's a gunshot.
שלא קשור לטייפ. 10 בספטמבר, 7 בערב, דסק קוטו מספר 3.
Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a parameter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket.
You may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken.
But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you too hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she?
I don't know. She just sort of disappeared.
I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir.
מה יאללה, הרבה זמן לעשיתי גם שואו.
I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I like you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you are protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, Don't ever lose that detective spirit, okay?
You got it, Pops.
Pops?
Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
Why to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment? I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Bye.
Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find the truth behind everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison.
But Judge, look at that.
I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. Certainly not your fault, Your Honor.
Well, even if we didn't have his honest testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Yeah. I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective.
Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me.
She did? Oh, what is it?
What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship.
A promise notebook? אני לא זוכר. או שזה הסוויס רול. A Swiss roll?
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Okay, cancel אותי. Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you after all.
Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat it right now. Oh my god.
Sure, go ahead. Swiss Rogue, Detective Gumshoe, and Kay bought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, as it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him.
Whoop! That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in a Swiss roll paradise or something. Gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she?
Did I notice just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first. You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Oh. זה אשכרה מראה את ההתחלה בין שניהם. בגלל איך שאחר כך זה מקשור להם beginnings.
I sense nothing but the most troublesome relationship on the
Okay. Bruh.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well.
I'll be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air.
Dwarf? Hey, Dwarf, what the fuck?
Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she is now... Oh.
So, do you remember now?
Yes. I remember everything. Okay. It's been a while.
Hey, you sure grew up a lot.
Of course! Oh, thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time?
Yummy! I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go and live with my mother's relatives. And we lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. שמזר שהוא לא יודע גם שהוא בחליפה הקלאסית שלו, נרגל לזה שבקינגס.
So, does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does.
Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
Huh?
First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Adagarasu?
Huh. כן, אם קליסטו ירד הגרס, איך היא השנייה?
The Adagarasu is Callista you, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yadagarasu was my father.
Mr. Faraday was the other Garasu.
like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently. And I found a secret diary hidden among his books.
I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yadagarasu. I was written in a diary.
That's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible! כן, אז איך קליסטה יודעת על הנושא הזה של המפתח? What?
What should I look? You don't believe me?
Was it just but the expression on my face? I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
Little thief.
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing?
Yep, that's all thief. Truth be told, it's the first Yadagara's greatest. This is the Yadagara's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father.
Whoa! Mr. Ferrier wasn't just a great prosecutor. He really was a great thief, huh?
Yeah, and my father worked really hard to steal the truth. He was killed, and then the other Garasu was no more. But despite that, the other Garasu has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
זה היה מקייס אחד, לא? The other girl also sent card to embassy. I will see by that. The other girl also sent the embassy a calling card.
Yeah, meaning this person is a fake. I'm almost certain that Calista, you lady is behind this. Because the real Yagarasu would never send something like a Gaji card out.
But the other Garasu did send the white card along with everything to be publicized. It's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, memory serves.
Well, as I heard the news, I got wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind the other Garasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your photos and misuse identities backwards?
Yes, because the real Yadagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yadagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Hey. Hey. You're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are planning to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit.
Mr. Edgeworth. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now?
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman? You mean Callisto you?
I think it's so hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to solve things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you.
Yay! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay?
Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now, that's it, this chummy relationship. The great thief Yadagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Bone Ferde, Callisto Yu, and Kay Ferde. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yadagarasu.
And the other girl's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. And wow.
Terrible reminiscence. Above the terrible blaze. ודברים חדשים בגלריה. Why not? Obviously achievement חדש. episode of completion. מה בפועל? Oh. כל ה-CG'ים החדשים. מה אתה... Okay.
That cat compendium.
Manfred. Past Miles. Francisca Gumshoe Past. Past Francisca's Past K. Tyra, Callisto, her judge. Lang. Baba, her bailiff. Okay. נסיים את זה פה, כי וואו, סוף כזה סיימתי צ'פטר, אז כן. כאן היה ירין, נפגש בסרטון על הרמה של ניקו גיימס, מקווה שנהנתם, וירין, אאוט. ביי חברים, מקווה שאתם נהנים, ומקווה שאני יכול לעשות משהו יותר טוב. ביי ביי!